What's good, one and all? Welcome back. We are on day 24. We're going to chill out today, a little bit of yin yoga. So, we're going to hold a lot of the postures for longer periods of time, which means that you can melt into the mat and relax into the stretches. Remember to stay with the breath, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're coming out of a stretch or you're going into it, use the breath. The inhale is where you create that space, and then let the exhale give you the room to move into that space. What you're going to need is a massage ball or a tennis ball, anything like that. And just place it to the side. We'll use it at the end. Before that, we're going to focus on some breath work and then go into our mindful movement. So find a comfortable position, whatever that is for you. I'm going to take a child's pose position, setting the hips back to heels, forehead on the mat, resting the palms, elbows, and relaxing the shoulders. Taking a deep breath in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. During this practice, listen to the cues. It's not going to be particularly exciting like some of the HIIT workouts we've been doing, or the more complex sequences. So try and keep the eyes closed down, connected with the breath, and allow my cues to help you into position. And as we're here, just observe the breath as it enters the body, the space it creates in the lungs, the expansion of the lungs and the belly. Notice how, as the belly pushes against the thighs, it also opens and stretches the lower back. It's like a balloon inflating. And notice the space you've created as you exhale. The belly deflates, the lungs contract, and the shoulders float back down to the ground. Next time you breathe in, pull yourself up through the navel onto all fours, allowing the shoulders to fall down, the chest to round, the back to round. And then exhale, belly draws down to the ground, chest rises to the top of the mat. Transition through the cat-cow. And as you round the back, you're stretching and opening each section of the spine. And as you arch the back, you're stretching the abs, opening the chest. Feel the wave travel up and down the spine from tailbone to crown, and from crown to tailbone. The next time you round your back, flex the feet, come onto the toes, and then lift the tailbone up and back into downward dog. We're just going to use this for a moment to stretch out the back of the legs. Find that length through the spine. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And feel free to pedal through your downward dog. Deepening that stretch through the back of the legs and the soles of the feet. Today's practice is actually a great one to accompany last week's, I believe it was day 14, foam rolling. So it'd be nice to do this sequence after you've done a bit of foam rolling to feel that freedom in your body. Find some stillness in your downward dog. And then we're going to sweep the left leg up and back. And then pull the knee into the chest and set the leg down beneath us as we come into pigeon pose. Keeping the hips level, shoulders rolled back. And there's always the option to place a book, or if you have a yoga block, place that underneath the elevated hip for a little bit more support to help bolster your position. And then find comfortable posture that works for you on the forearms. Resting your head on the floor. And just relax. Stay connected with the breath. And then with the next breath in, set the hands beneath the shoulders and slowly lift out of your pigeon. Flex the back foot and through plank, hips up and back. Gently walk through your downward dog. Find some relief. And then we're taking leg up and back, sweeping the knee in to the chin, and then setting that leg down beneath you. Pigeon pose on the other side. And then slowly inhale, come up. Gently roll the shoulders back. And then flex the back foot. We're going to take ourselves up and back into downward dog. Find some stillness in your downward dog. Leg up and back. Draw the knee in and set it down for pigeon pose, keeping the hips level. You're looking for a stretch to the outside of that bent hip. And feel free to set yourself down on your forearms, forehead down, or extended arms. And slowly walk the hands back to your hips, coming out of your pigeon. Set yourself down on your left hip and then swing the back leg around. We're going to take the bent leg and cross it over the top. So we're stacking the knees, or close to, for half cow face. It's almost like you're wrapping your leg around yourself like a belt. Find some length through the spine. Then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward, setting the chest down to thigh, and rolling down through the spine. So you're looking for this beautifully deep stretch through the back of that extended leg. Keeping both hips, your buttocks down on the ground. And taking the breath in through the nostrils, and as you exhale, allow the chest to fall, melt into the thigh. I'm going to invite you to draw some neck circles here, floating the ear to shoulder, then chin to chest, then other ear to other shoulder. Nice and slow, feel how this stretches out your upper back and neck. And then find some stillness here. Inhale, roll up through the spine. And we're going to take the cross leg and place it on the inside of the thigh. We're coming into a side bend. So we're going to take the left hand behind us, looking over the back shoulder, lift through the hips, coming into a kneeling side bend. Stretching out the top edge of the body, lifting through the hips. The next time you inhale, float the hips down to the ground. Gently shake out the wrist as you do. And then we're going to come into a cross-leg position. So cross-legged, if it feels good to you, or you can bring the soles of the feet together for a forward fold. Nice deep breath in, straight through the spine, and as you exhale, send the chest forwards, walking the hands to the top of the mat. Keeping your tailbone grounded. Find length through the outside of the hips and the spine. Walk the fingertips to the top of the mat a little bit more. Then relax the shoulders and arms. And then taking your inhale, roll up through the spine, creating space through each section of the spine, every vertebrae, coming up into a seated position. Let's come onto all fours and then transition into downward dog. Taking the right leg up and back, and then drawing the knee into chin, setting the right leg down for pigeon pose on the other side. So find comfort in your pigeon pose and then set the head down, resting on the forearms. And inhale, slowly walk the hands to hips. Then we're going to set the hip down, bringing that back leg in front of us and sweeping the right leg over the top of the thigh. Find length through the spine as you exhale. Float the chest down to thighs for your half cow face. Breathe into the back of the legs, opening the back of the thigh. And then as you inhale, roll up through the spine nice and slow. Always trying to create more room in the body. Let's take the right foot on the inside of the left thigh. Then set the right hand behind us. Lift through the hips, coming into our side bend. Breathing into the outside edge of the body. Open the ribs. And then take a breath in, set the hips back down. We're going to open the legs. We come into a straddled forward fold. So find a width that works well for you. Use some books or blocks if you need it to elevate your seated position, just to take a bit of pressure off the hips if you're feeling it. Alternatively, bend through the knees as an option just to help. Find length through the spine, circle the arms overhead. Big breath in and exhale, fold forwards, melting the chest towards the ground. Relax the shoulders, elbows, wrists. Gently rotating the legs out, turning the toes to the back edge of the mat will help create more room in the hips. And feel free to walk the fingertips forwards to create more length through the spine and the lats. And then relax into it. And inhale, roll up through the spine, walking the hands back to the hips. Finish nice and tall. And then gently bend the knees and pull the legs in. So I want you to slide your heels towards your hips, feet flat on the floor. Then you're placing your hands behind you. With the inward breath, create length through the spine, open the chest. And as you breathe out, slide the hips towards the heels, extending the arms back behind you, opening the chest and the shoulders. You can let the head hang forwards or back, opening the throat, or stretching out the neck, whatever feels good to you. And I'm going to invite you to draw some neck circles if it feels good. In the moment, this feels great to me. It's not a part of this sequence, but certainly you can add or take away things that don't work for you. This is about your body and becoming comfortable in it after all, so make it your own. And then with the next breath in, slide the hips back. Gently draw some wrist circles in both directions. Feel free to walk the legs on the spot. And then we're going to transition into a Sphinx pose. So we're coming onto our front, bringing the forearms beneath the shoulders, setting the hips down and the tops of the feet. Resting the forehead in between the palms. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears, and as you breathe in, lift through the head and chest, sinking the hips into the ground. You're opening the abs. Find that length through the belly. And your gaze should be on the top of your mat, so you're not overstretching the throat or crunching the neck. One final breath in here. Exhale. Roll down to the ground. Place the hands beneath the shoulders, flex the feet, and then send the hips back into child's pose. Nice and slow, just as a counterbalance. Take one final breath in, roll up through the spine. And we're going to make a final transition onto our back. So we're going to take this ball that we have sitting here, and we're going to place it underneath the hips. So before you get started, I want you to have a feel for the top edge of your hip bone, just above your buttocks. So for males, that's their belt line. Females, your belt line will be slightly higher. So you're feeling for this bone, and then you're going to walk the fingers into the meaty part of your buttocks just beneath it. So we're always avoiding bone when we're using a foam roller or a massage ball. So you're staying away from the tailbone and working the ball along the belt line, so to speak, and across the meat of the glutes. So to do this, we're going to pull the heels into the buttocks, roll down onto our back. And we're going to take one foot and cross it over the opposite thigh. Now this is the side that we're going to be working on as we massage out the glutes. So you're going to roll the hips onto one side and then place the ball in that fleshy part of the glutes. And then gently roll back onto the ball. So now using the supporting leg, gently slide the ball across the glutes, and you're looking for areas of tightness, tension, or tenderness, so to speak. When you find it, pause, hold for 10 seconds, lean into it or just stay where you are, and then gently start exploring again. Use it as an adventure. Be curious in your stretching. I always invite you to be curious in your stretching and your massage therapy, your self-administered massage therapy. So I encourage you to stay connected with the breath. Use it, that inwards breath, as you're exploring. And when you're going to apply that pressure, take a little breath in first through the nostrils and then exhale, apply that pressure. Final 10 seconds here. And then you're going to set yourself down on your hip, roll off the ball and remove it. And let's come on to the other side. So take that foot across the thigh, pull the heel into your hips, and then roll onto one side. Place the ball and slowly come onto the ball itself. One side's going to feel more tender than the other, so be mindful and compassionate with yourself. You're always avoiding bone and areas of hot poking and sharp shooting sensations. You're looking for areas of tension and muscle tightness. So that's what we're trying to relieve, is that tightness in the muscles. Final 10 seconds here. And then slowly set yourself down on the hip, roll off the ball, place it to one side, and then bring the feet hip width apart, heels slid into the hips. Hands down by your side. Engage the core as you take the breath in. Breath out, lift through the hips, gently squeezing the glutes to open them up. And slowly rolling down through the spine. When the tailbone meets the mat, pull both thighs into the chest. Take the hands around the thighs and gently rock the hips out. And find some stillness here. Take a nice deep breath in through the nostrils. Lift the chest into thighs. Relax through the shoulders. Release the breath. Take another breath in, deeper than the last. And release the breath, emptying the lungs. The final breath, breathe all the way in and hold the breath at the top. And then fill the lungs up as much as you can with one small sip through your mouth. And then exhale completely through the mouth, emptying the lungs fully. Release the legs, rolling down to the ground. Let the feet fall apart. Set the hands down by your side, palms facing up. Take a moment to close the eyes down. Get comfortable, feel the connection with the ground. And allow the breath to come and go naturally in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. You're not trying to send it anywhere in particular. Just allowing it to come and go freely. We're going to spend a few moments here practicing Anapana. Nostril breathing. And during this practice, you are a witness to the breath, observing as it comes and goes. Not holding on to any sensation that you might observe and feel. Just allowing it to pass with each breath. Notice the dry, cool sensation of the inward breath as it vibrates past the nostril hairs and down the back of the throat. And the moisture of the breath as it exits, coming out of the body. And I'll invite you to draw your full awareness to the entrance of the nostrils, right up the bridge to the back of the throat. And remain aware of any sensation you feel in this area. Whether it's the temperature of the breath, restriction, the depth of the breath. Any sensation at all. Just remain aware. Remain aware. And let the next breath be deeper than the last, bringing life back to the body. Bring yourself back into the room, gently wiggling the fingers and the toes. With the next breath in, stretch the legs and the arms over the head. And then exhale, wrap the hands around the shins as you draw the thighs into the chest. And bring your feet down to the ground and roll onto the side of your body. Keep the eyes closed down and stay connected with that breath. And take a moment to bring yourself up to a seated position with your free hand. Come into a cross-legged or kneeling. A nice long straight spine. Roll the shoulders back and forth. Blinking the eyes a couple times to bring life back to the eyes as well. And relax. Beautiful work. Thank you for joining me in this practice today. I hope you feel as peaceful and chilled out as I do. And I'll see you for tomorrow, day 25. We're almost there. Almost at the end of this challenge, but a couple more days left. So until tomorrow, you stay blessed. Peace.